To order. Mr. Rizwan, could you do the pledge of allegiance?
Ready?
Bring in the pledge of
Please rise
allegiance.
for the pledge of allegiance. Ready? Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rizwan. Roll call. We're all here.
That was quick.
Approval of agenda.
So move.
So move. Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Public comment? Anybody wish to speak on items not on the agenda? No? Okay. Go over to consent items. Planning minutes for June the 8th and December 14th. Did you, commissioners, had time to review this? Have any questions?
Chair, I did have an opportunity to review them. They appear to be okay, so I'll motion for its approval.
Motion? The second?
I'll second.
Second? All's in favor?
Aye.
All right. Public hearing item, number UA 2016-01, Lamar Billboards. We have a presentation from Mr. Mark Vasquez.
Good evening, Chairman Rodriguez and members of the Planning Commission. The project before you is a billboard which is proposed at 2451 Rockwood Avenue. It's proposed for the northwest driveway located on the property known as El Paseo Mall near Walmart. One face of the sign will be static. One face of the sign will be static metal and the other LLD. The height of the sign will be 13 feet from grade to the underside of the sign and 25 feet from grade to the top of the sign. Just a little bit of background information. The sign ordinance was updated in 2010, and I know most of you were not on the commission, with the exception of Chairman Rodriguez. And under the update, billboards were always permitted as a signage type, subject to the review and approval of a conditional use permit. At that time, staff did conduct an inventory of existing billboards throughout the city, and there's 6 total billboards in Calexico. The study analyzed the impacts of allowing additional billboards based on distance requirements. And those distances are shown in your packet under Exhibits C, D, and E. The distances include 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, and 1/2 mile separation. The current ordinance, which is also at the back of your packet, requires that the following conditions be met, and I'll go ahead and read them for the record. Number 1, the locations shall be zoned commercial or industrial. There must be a business activity within 1,000 feet from the proposed billboard. No sign shall be permitted within a 1/4 mile minimum radius of another legal permitted billboard. Number 4, no sign shall be permitted within a 300-foot distance from another legal permitted or site freestanding freeway sign. Number 5, other considerations regarding compatibility of placement as required by the CUP process. No sign shall be permitted on parcels of land less than 2 acres in size. Number 7, the city adopts this billboard policy pursuant to California Government Code Section 65850, California Business and Professions Code Sections 5354A and 5408.3. That just gives you an idea of the strict requirements that the applicant had to meet, and the applicant searched long and hard to make sure that all these requirements were met. The applicant has come around in Calexico for the last several years, so and I believe they own 1 billboard. Is it 1 by the railroad tracks or 2?
We have in the city limits,
rebuild it, okay.
Some of those independents that are out there, and then actually the one over on Cole Road, north of Cole Road is owned by another owner. We run it for him. It does have a Lamar logo, but it's his structure. We pay him based off of, we get a percentage, 80%. It's his structure, not ours.
Okay,
That's the one that built Calexico property out there.
okay, thank you. Thank you. There was a negative declaration completed by city staff and mailed to all local agencies for a 20-day review period which started December 4th, 2015 and ended December 28th. That's Exhibit B in your packet. The only two comment letters that were received were from Caltrans and the Imperial County Air Pollution Control District. No other adverse comments were received by any other reviewing agencies.
How did you get these comments? You call them? They read it? How did you get these?
We circulate the document to them directly.
Did?
Yeah, yes. The standards for granting a conditional use permit must be consistent with the policies and objectives of the zoning ordinance of the city of Calexico and should not impair the integrity and character of the immediate area or neighborhood. Overall, the proposed billboard project is in conformity with the city's zoning ordinance and general plan. So on the last page of the staff report, page 3 of 4, you have a couple of different options available to you. Number 1, motion to approve the project with the adoption of the required findings and conditions. Number 2, motion to approve the project with modifications and with the adoption of the required findings and conditions. 3, motion to deny the project with the adoption of the appropriate findings against the proposal. Number 4, motion to continue the public hearing for further study. At this point, staff would recommend that you go ahead and open the public hearing, hear from those in favor or opposed to the project, and after that, you could open it up to discussion amongst yourselves.
All right, so let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anybody in favor of the project? Please speak now. Oh, the time, you want the time? We'll open it up at 6:46 exactly. Please state your name, address.
Armando Real, 565 Scaroni Road. Armando Real, 565 Scaroni Road, City of Calexico. I want to speak in favor of this project, but more than anything, I want to tell I actually reviewed again the City of Calexico versus other cities in the county, and the requirements that we list for being able to install a sign like this in the City of Calexico are way beyond what any other city is asking for. City of El Centro and other nearby cities are 500 feet. I think we're like at a quarter mile, which makes it really hard for any company that wants to come into the City of Calexico and install billboards, which create business and tax revenue for the city to do so. So not just approving the project, but maybe looking at this ordinance and maybe tweaking it a little bit, because it seems like we're, what does the City of El Centro have as far as billboards, do you know?
It's 500 feet between.
That's about the normal statewide, and we're at a quarter mile. I mean, I don't know exactly who made these rules up. It seems like they just kind of, off the top of their head, but they're way off to be on. I think we need to be on par with other cities as far as this. That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else in favor? All right. All right, well, first, anybody against this proposal? Nobody? All right. Questions, commissioners? Any questions?
I got one.
All right, go ahead, sir.
On, this one's for Mark. actually. Under attachment 2, you guys are missing page 14, just to let you know. Because it goes from page 13 to 15.
What's hidden in that page?
Attachment 2.
So I don't know what's missing in there, unless I got shorted a page.
I think you got shorter the page.
You got it? On attachment 2?
From the ordinance?
No, no, no.
I don't have it.
From attachment 2, on the yellow part.
Attachment two.
I don't have 14 either.
Here, I don't have it either.
I don't have it.
So just to let you know, we got shorted a page, I think.
It's on the checklist of no impacts or less than significant impact. Page 14 is missing.
Actually, it's under population and housing.
Paper, ink.
Double-sided?
Attachment 2 is the resolution.
No. It's the checklist on the
Attachment 2,
mitigating,
Exhibit, what exhibit is it?
Two,
Attachment 2.
attachment 2,
from your environmental application.
That's what it
under
is.
population and housing.
Your checklist?
the environmental checklist. The environmental checklist.
Yeah, that's exhibit B.
Okay, that's page 7,
That's
where it
missing.
starts. It's page 14, the one that's missing. Thank you, Commissioner.
Oh, sorry,
That fine
I was
print,
reading it and,
that was good.
That's good work.
and then,
What's on page 14?
We're missing page
Okay,
14.
we're missing page 14.
Yeah, I went through the whole thing, I didn't notice the page number that was missing. That's terrible. I checked the other ones.
I have another question for Mark.
Go ahead, Mr. Young.
It seems like you contacted a bunch of county agencies and stuff. Did you contact, is it protocol to contact your police department here and your public safety departments here within the city? Like the fire and the police department, to get their feedback from like the fire chief and the police chief?
If I may, according to the report here, they did have a PRC meeting where they're included.
Yes, the project did go to the project review committee, and they were, they're usually at the meetings.
Okay.
They didn't seem to have any concerns.
Commissioner Jones, he said usually, he didn't say they were.
Well, they didn't provide any comments either way.
Because, I mean, the only thing I see is like part of it, or the sign on the south side is going to be LED lit or something like that, right? So I'm sure it's going to, you guys are different graphics and different things popping up on it?
What it does is, we have 6 advertisers on that side of the structure. They will come up, and the way best to describe it, in an eye blink, it'll change to another ad, but it doesn't move continuously. State doesn't allow that, and we go by state differently.
Okay. Okay.
Sudden movement, and that's it.
It's like the sign in North Central, next to Pollo Locos, right? That one. That high? Is this one that high? Lower probably. This one will be higher than that one?
The one down by the wall, is an LED there, right across.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah,
That one is low.
but the one in Pollo Loco on Imperial Avenue, that one's pretty high, right? Okay.
Because that was a standard board already up, and all we did was convert the faces to digital on that. It was
Got
already-
it. What else, Mr. Young?
In Central, north of the tracks.
It's probably in the middle between
one proposed here is
Casey
lower.
Welding and the other one.
This will be lower and a little higher than the one in front of the mall.
The only concern that that was brought up at the PRC is that it was going to be illuminated. And so the question that was brought up at that point, and it was brought up by I'm not sure whether the fire or police, was whether that was going to be a distraction. now it was brought up that it won't. The other concern that was there was the fact that the illumination is going to be going northbound instead of southbound. And since, and I think I spoke with the applicant about that the concern as a community that we had as a city is that on the illumination, you have more signs that pop out as far as advertising and all that. And so on the economic side is whether that wouldn't be best used, it was turned around, whether the illumination was going southbound so that more advertisement of more businesses could be done to attract the incoming traffic or people coming into Calexico to show all the different businesses and things that they can go ahead and visit. Because when it's just one portrait, then that's all it is. And so that coming in southbound, then you only have one sign and one advertisement versus the other fact that's going out of Calexico. The only question that they had there was the fact, well, it kind of seems that what they're going to be advertising is more things maybe from the mall or from the north end. And so that was a question, not that, that would, other than that, I don't know whether there was any major controversy as far as the PRC, but those were the only two questions that was brought up at that point.
I got a question, Mr. Vasquez. There was a notion that before we didn't like billboards, right? We didn't like them, we didn't want them. I don't know if it was Armando Villa days, but was it just me or that was the case? I remember they were coming, we just shut them down, we didn't want them. What explain that to me, or and this is just something that I created?
They didn't grease the right people at that time.
Okay. Well, no, I just want to know because I really need to know if it's true or not.
As far as I know, there were billboards were always in the signed ordinance. They were subject to a conditional use permit. I think a few years back, there was a proposal for a billboard that got denied, I think based on the distance requirements.
No, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How about, I remember somebody calling me from Yuma or Arizona saying, wanted to talk to me because I was the chairman, and he wanted to just discuss to me why it didn't pass. I don't know if it didn't pass with council, with what? That was you? Okay, what was that situation about?
The situation was, the interim city manager at the time
Well-
had recommended to the planning department that he didn't want to go.
Okay, see, that was the energy. Okay. All right, please state that again, so, it's on record. So see, it wasn't me, I wasn't crazy, I know somebody called me. It wasn't a dream. Correct.
My name's Bill Amadon, and I'm with Lamar, General Manager. I live in El Centro at 3801 Rupert Franks Drive. Like I mentioned, the previous city manager, Richard Warren, he, I guess in a planning review at that time when he was interim city manager, had recommended to the planning department to change ordinances and not allow billboards in the city, basically. So at that point, it was kind of tabled as far as we were concerned until I got a feel from the city and city council and some people to see if this is something that was just a personal opinion or something the city felt in general as a whole. And we came back finally, and it was just right after Mr. Warren actually was dismissed, and we brought it to the planning department again and submitted everything. And at that time, we went to the review committee, and they didn't see any problem with doing it at that time. So that's kind of how that worked. But I approached you on recommendation by a city council member. He said, speak to you and kind of let you know the situation. So that's why I did that.
So back then, the planning tabled it, or they just didn't?
Mark can explain how it was done.
Then
I'm
you go
not
to
sure
planning.
how he,
No, at that time, the city manager just didn't want billboards, but the ordinance was never changed. So they've always been in there, subject to review and issuance of a conditional use permit.
Well, that had to be a while, because I remember that's been going back
It
some
was
years.
less than
It's-
how long was it?
It's not since Warren was here, it was before Warren.
And it was a Caltrans,
Yeah, it
it was a
was-
Caltrans concern for visibility on the vehicles.
Yeah, maybe Warren had some impact on it, but this was a thought that you talked about that was existed well before Warren.
Well, and let me interact a little bit, I guess, or interject. I've been with Lamar for 18 years. I was with Martin Outdoor, the old billboard company, for 18 years also. So I've been in the business quite a while, but I remember back when we first did the billboard on the railroad tracks, and we tried to submit for that one, and we did get an objection from, at that time, the city planner. Hinojosa at the time, I believe it was, who did not
Villa?
like billboards. And
Who?
Ricardo Hinojosa.
Oh,
And he didn't like billboards, and he found ways to try to,
see, that's always been the
Put
case.
roadblocks.
We've always been getting this,
correct.
that's how we were, brought up, I guess, I don't know. But, okay, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you. It's a shock now. Now we're all for billboards now. It's shocking. Questions, commissioners?
I got another question.
Or Mr. Young, go ahead.
Mr. Rao said that this is going to bring in tax revenues. How much does it cost, or how much is the city going to profit from this?
Well, the thing is that the way that the city may profit from it is through the advertisement. Businesses advertise, so people see what's out there, and hopefully, if there's not enough advertisement, then they will be directed to the business. My view on this, like I said before, I would rather have the illumination and where the sign continues to change to be from the north side or pointing to the north side for vehicular traffic going south, because I feel that that's what's going to help the businesses downtown and all the other businesses, because it changes, like it was brought out by the applicant, that this sign will be changing every so many seconds. So that means that there will be quite a few advertisements out there. And so if it's something that Calexico wants to benefit, then it will be good. But by the same token, then maybe there's something that could be worked out where the illumination be changed, so that those that are coming to Calexico or even going to Mexicali will see, hey, listen, there's a special here, there's, if you go down here, then this is what you can receive, and that's the advertisement that we need. The type of advertisement he's going to provide, or the billboard, I think is going to be good for the city, but I really feel that instead of it facing north,
Southbound.
it should be facing south.
Question, if a business advertises there, like a medical clinic that only works, does business on Central, do they have to pay a license here?
No,
They don't?
they wouldn't have to, because all they're
Yeah.
doing is advertising. That would be my.
It's private.
No business would have to pay a business license to advertise.
Is this a one-time
Unless
permit?
you do business here.
Is this a one-time permit, or they have to
The permit
pay?
is to put up the sign, yes.
Yeah, but it's-
And as far as the advertising, then there's no permits that are issued for that, because then he has, that falls under a different.
So there's no fees, like annual fees
Well,
or
he would-
franchise fees?
Well, he
something?
would pay whatever fees it is. There's a construction fee that he has to pay, and
Impact
a
fees.
plan check fee to put up the sign and do that. But as far as having let's say you want to advertise your business there, then you wouldn't have to pay a special license or permit for that.
Yes, go ahead.
I respect my fellow colleagues here, but I think that it's very important that we listen to something that's been said here, and that's feelings. We have You know, why didn't the city of Calexico want billboards? Well, because the certain city manager didn't feel it was right. Armando Villa didn't feel it was right. Richard Hinojosa didn't feel it was right. Mr. Richard Warren didn't feel it was right. Mr. Ralph, he says he feels that the billboard should be facing, you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm sure Lamar does a cost-benefit analysis, and if they feel that having the billboard on one side is better than the other, then that's, as a business, they have that right to put the billboard upside down if they think that the space should be looking at the LCD screen. That's a business decision. It's not up to the city of Calexico or our feelings to get involved how we feel that board should be. It's the first thing I told John when I saw him, and he said the billboard will be ready to be correct, to have a LCD on the other side as well when they feel it's needed. But like I said, feelings is what's stopping the progress in our city. We should not continue to be feeling if we think this is something that should happen. If the law permits it, it's not illegal. I believe it should continue.
Thank you. I can clarify that a little bit on why we chose the south face, what we call a south face heading north. Why we chose that one. There's a light right before it, and that gives you a still audience. And that was the main reason. In our business, we look for the audience first. How much audience can we get on these? Our purpose of building the structure also is to have it ready, set to put one on the other side, reapproach the city when that time comes. But our company did come down and survey this, and they recommended us making sure we sell all sides of that board before we go on and put another one on the other side. Could happen sooner, could happen later, but our hope is to build this and then pursue that down the road and submit for another permit to add on to that board, which would definitely gain some more revenue for the city. But it is a strategic move is what it is. And again, my account executive here, he's from Calexico, Victor Platero, and he has gone to a lot of the businesses within the area there to ask if they would like to advertise on the billboard, so we can get a feel of how many businesses would like to use this billboard in Calexico. That's our whole goal is, and I can just say one more thing is, my purpose is also going to be to help the city of Calexico promote things in Calexico. There's a couple of benefits. You get Amber Alerts, which no other media can do it as fast and as quick as outdoor can now. We put it on the billboard. Everyone driving can see, and being a border city, you get a lot of requests for Amber Alerts in your area because all it takes is for them to drive down from San Bernardino anywhere, and they try to cross the border, and if we can catch them before they do that, or people see them, then they can report it and hopefully get them before they get across the border. So that's one purpose. The other purpose is definitely to promote the city a little bit on these billboards. And we're going to try to designate one slot for the city to promote events, anything that we can that is going to be a benefit to the city. So there will be a plus side to it, and we feel that is necessary in our relationship.
One of the 6 will be.
Well, actually, our goal is to put 7 up there and have 1 for the city alone, and then the other 6 would be sold.
There's 7 a minute or 7?
It would be 7 at 8-second intervals, so it'd be every 50.
That's like the perfect number.
Yeah, every 56 seconds or less than a minute, all of them would rotate through, and it does that 24 hours a day.
Similar to the one in front of the mall in El Centro.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
What does it cost to put an ad there? I'm just curious.
A standard slot's going to run you about $1,400 per 4 weeks, $1,400 per 4 weeks, and you get 1,688 rotations a day on there, 8-second rotations per day.
That's the LED one.
Yes. And that is very, and it sounds like a big number, but if you compare to TV commercials that run 30 seconds, what you pay for that many TV commercials, you would be paying quite a bit of money. But anyways, that's kind of, just wanted to clarify anything else. If you have any other questions, I can help.
Yes, what does one of those signs cost?
Now they're running about, this size is a 10.6 by 36. They'll run you about $250,000 for that digital structure face, yes.
One side.
Just the structure face, and then probably close to $50,000 for the pole and all the other.
I was just curious, why not just do 2 but I know. why.
Yeah, no, it is, and it was kind of worked out with our corporate office when they came down. I've hardly ever been able to put two sides on one billboard like that digital-wise. We built two in Yuma over the last couple of years, and they did the same thing. They only allowed us to put one on one side, see if it sells first, and then come back and apply and hopefully get the other side. So that's our goal.
Do you need a special permission from Caltrans since it's facing the highway?
Yeah, well, we have to get an actual state permit also, yes.
Is that Caltrans or just some other
For
agency?
Caltrans,
It
from the
is?
state, yes.
So you do need their permission
That's correct.
when it faces the highway, correct?
Correct, well, when it runs along the highway, yes.
When it does, okay.
Yeah, as long as it's bordering the highway, we have to get a permit for that.
When- Well,
Not the state, because the state requires a local municipality over them first. And then we go to the state and say we've gotten a permit from the local municipality, and then we apply. That's how it kind of works.
thank you. Any
Not
other
a problem.
questions?
Yes, the CUP is just to permit just for that use?
For the construction.
That's why it's a conditional use permit. When, just out of curiosity, when did you submit this for a project for the city?
The first time probably, was it March? Something like March
Last year?
of 15, yeah.
Wow.
And then, like I said, I kind of, when Mark came out and said, you know, they want to go a different direction, they got opposition from the city manager and what have you, I said, you know what, all right, and then I kind of let it be, and I just got a feel of, I came to city council meetings, I got to know city council members and just get a feel of everyone, just to see if everyone felt the same way in a lot of ways, you know. We kind of want to make sure that we're not being turned down personally just because someone had a personal opinion like Mr. Mandy said, basically.
One of the things that was introduced by council some time back, which I did not see it in the packet, was a letter of approval from the landowner, the property owner. There's a letter from him to the property owner, but there's no letter in response to that letter.
What we have is a lease agreement with the landowner already to build that billboard on his property.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lease agreement in hand. And
Yes,
I
it's
think
something
we
to-
submitted that to Mark, didn't we?
And this is for you guys. Next time you present something like this, it was passed by council some years ago. You guys should have a reflection that the property owner has accepted this project to be on their site.
He did submit the lease agreement, so we have it on file.
Yeah, no, we don't need to get all the information regarding the lease agreement, just something, just like a letter.
Oh, okay,
one-page
just a letter in
cover
general?
sheet, Yeah.
Okay.
This was discussed in the PRC meeting. Is there any minutes that you can give the planning commission when you guys go through this? Or there's no minutes taken? When you're presenting it to the planning commission and you have a PRC meeting regarding the project, do you guys have minutes so you can, in the future, you can present to
For the
the?
most part, yeah, minutes are taken. I'm not sure, I'm sure there was minutes taken for this one. We would have to check to see if the minutes were ever prepared.
I mean, it's, so we can see here, I mean, read what dialogue could have taken place and we understand more.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, for me, it's already very favorable that they already have other signs here within the city. It's not something like a new project. And that there are 6 other signs already around here.
Also, yeah, we circulate a comment sheet, and usually we get comments back from each department.
Well, yeah, in the future, if you guys could include those comments.
Yeah.
It'd be
Unfortunately-
It'd be very informative.
Sometimes, you know, it becomes, because of the workload or whatever, it just becomes very difficult to get the comment sheets from the different departments. But, yeah, it is our practice to take down the minutes and as to what each department's comments were. So
Okay.
we'll make sure that at the next one we do that.
All right, please. One of the things I noticed on the resolution on attachment 1, you do have reference to resolution 2016. In the 1, 2, the third paragraph, you refer to the negative declaration. and it has 2012.
Yeah, that's a typo.
That's a typo.
Yeah.
Then, if it's corrected, make sure it's corrected before anything is signed.
We'll redo the resolution.
It was, I'm also, what?
Go ahead. I was going to make one final comment.
Go ahead and make your comment. I had some other questions.
Everyone knows where this is, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's what I call this northwest driveway. And
Right.
you come in this parking area and you drive under the sign. I don't know if anyone has.
I just haven't noticed any other billboards that there's an opportunity to drive under the sign, especially with the traffic that will be there. But hey,
But that one won't have a lot of traffic, that's just.
I mean, it's
parking.
still a driveway.
That's
I don't
parking,
know-
right?
Yeah.
I don't know of any billboard that
This is,
That goes
hovers over
through
the parking.
there's not very many cars that park around this
Yeah,
area.
I don't see many.
It'll be less.
There is.
No, it'll be less now with that thing.
Oh, yeah, I know, well, right now.
Or now they want the shade, some.
Yeah. On the other resolution, the applicable 2010 fire and building codes, ordinance, and policies. That's the latest edition? Or the latest revision, the 2010?
That's attachment one.
Oops, I lost it. Hold on. Attachment 2.
Attachment two. Okay, one of
On
the
the
conditions.
one, second, third page.
We'll make sure that, that the fire informs us of what the latest.
It's in the middle there. Paragraph, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. The third one under conditions.
Yeah, we can double check on that and make that correction.
All right, and then on the City of Calexico Planning Division, I don't know what this is. Exhibit B, the first page, you also referenced negative deck 2015. Is it supposed to be
Should all
2016?
It should be all 2016.
Just want to make sure that not something else wasn't approved before.
It should be 2016.
And for you, Mark, I see city planner, secretary, associate planner.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I am.
Engineer.
See,
No engineer. Ralph's the engineer.
jack of all trades. All right. There was something else somewhere. Can't find it. So I'm good.
Commissioners, questions?
Yes, I have another question. Does El Centro charge you guys to have the billboards up on a yearly basis?
Something wrong with
Not only your,
20-something wrong with it.
we do pay property taxes to the county.
Oh.
Because, I mean, because Mandy left, but he said this is a business, and he referred to this as a business. So if you guys are a business, you guys should apply for a business license
Oh,
and pay an annual fee.
They have to have business license.
You do have a business license for the city, okay.
And again, for the businesses, hopefully in the city more than anything.
Which one is
We find the majority of the businesses in the city where the billboard is are going to use it.
Right.
Someone might ask, use the word outside.
Attachment,
The applicant said we use the dog.
resolution, page 3.
Of course.
The second one?
Yeah.
I mean, if the prices for advertisement it's affordable, yes, the mom and pop small stores are going to be able to advertise, but if it's expensive, only the big ones are going to be able, and they're going to take all the business away from whoever left.
Third page.
Aquí dice Rockwood Avenue?
Acá dice Paisano Vasco.
We say to sell, we actually break it into half slots so that it is more affordable. What they would get is half of city locations is all it would be, but it is cost effective, it'd be $700 and some dollars, so for a whole year instead.
If I can say something, I mean, I've approached local businesses here with pricing.
Thank you.
Mark, also on the attachment 2, page 3, you're referring to Scaroni Road. Under section 4. Isn't that where Mandy has his business?
Yeah, that was, some of these are templates that we use, so we'll take that word out of it.
What's the conflict? What happened? I didn't really.
Oh, no, es que in section 4 it has
Wrong
571 Scaroni Road.
Yeah.
Isn't that Mandy's address?
Yeah, okay.
I have a question for the applicant. This is, off the topic, but maybe, I don't know. What if you don't have that many business to advertise at all? What's going to happen with that?
Well, I'm really confident that we're going to have plenty of businesses to advertise. I can tell you our structure in El Centro has been 100% occupied for, 6 months straight, and it's not unusual to have it, but I see that definitely here in the city also. Calexico has a definitely, I'm not going to say a shortage is the word, but we don't have as many billboards in the city of Calexico as we do in some of the other cities. Even the city of Brawley has a lot more billboards, and we occupy them. But I'm pretty sure if it didn't, we would keep selling it. I mean, that's the job of my account executive, is to get out here and sell it and occupy it. I mean, that's how he gets paid too. So he'll be hustling to make sure it's occupied and sold.
Well, if it's not occupied, you have like free spots, can you put like, welcome to Calexico?
Definitely.
Yeah, but that's
Free of charge?
No, but, yeah, that's true.
That's like
Actually,
coming
welcome
in,
to Calexico as you're leaving Calexico.
People from Mexicali
Yeah, but you're leaving
you're
Calexico.
leaving that.
live in Calexico.
He's gonna
Or
have
when
the
you welcome
digital
this
display
way?
as you're leaving Calexico.
Oh, no.
You could say thank you for
Thank you
coming to
for
Calexico.
visiting.
No.
Either way.
What I can tell you, though, is
Thank you for your brief statement.
if all the slots don't sell, the advertisers that are actually on it get more rotations per day is what happens. So the advertisers do benefit by less people on the billboard, but we continue to find a way to sell it, though. That's our job to do that, so definitely we do it.
And Mark, Exhibit F, a letter from the Air Pollution District, also refers to negative deck 2015.
Yeah.
Tick.
So did they have the wrong project application?
I hope they knew which one it was.
I have one question, another question here. Yeah, you lost me here with your comments, you jump in. Okay, making reference to the Air Pollution Control Division, in their letter, they're saying there's conditions for the construction. Have they submitted these conditions to you guys? Are you aware of what you have to do prior to?
No, we haven't been submitted those yet, but we comply with whatever is submitted by any county entities like that.
And, okay, staff, awake. Okay, and there was another one. You said that, yeah, you compared it to the city of El Centro, but we all know that city of El Centro has a higher economy stimulus than Calexico.
Correct.
So, is that the only location that you saw feasible, or?
That's the only location I saw that fit all the requirements of the ordinances, definitely. We looked up and down a lot of areas in the city of Calexico. Cesar Chavez Boulevard was one, considering the new growth that's going to be on that
Right.
side. And there's just so many on-premise signs in the city that it's hard to find a spot where you're going to be 300 feet from any on-premise sign, especially on Cesar Chavez Boulevard at this time. Maybe later, after things are developed and stuff, it would be an option, but nowhere else we could find a spot that was, that was within those ordinances and restrictions that are put there. Quarter mile from another billboard or 300 feet from an on-premise sign, freestanding on-premise sign. Yeah.
Okay. was something else I wanted to ask. It just totally caught me off guard. Oh, to staff, Caltrans. I, I read Caltrans' letter of, with their comments, and they seem to be rather concerned since their policy was no billboard signs along along Caltrans, Highway 111, and Calexico has that unique condition that it has two major highways traversing our entire city. That is why, the reason why originally, since I can recall, Caltrans did not want to have any billboards along 98 and 111 because of the distraction to the vehicles going southbound on 111. But did anyone bother to call the other gentleman that they are addressing on the letter for the special permits from staff? Mark?
No.
So we have no word from Caltrans on their special permits?
George Anzo? George?
Yes.
Yeah, no, if you, if that's necessary, we can give him a call or.
Well, it seems to be not necessary, but, something that, an obstacle that you need to go get it clear in order to get this gentleman an approval. Because he is saying you require an outdoor advertising display permit. And then he's also making reference to California Vehicle Code regulations. And there's a website with the section that he cites, section 21466.5. We don't have a copy of that in our backup, and I would have liked to read that to see what conditions that we're talking about. So, just, in the hindsight, it would have been nice to read those and see if the gentleman was okay with possibly maybe additional conditions that he had to meet or staff was in accordance to.
So you're speaking of section 21466.5
Uh-huh.
of the California Vehicle Code?
Right, the one stated by Mr.
Anzo?
Jacob Armstrong from Caltrans.
Oh, right. Bill, you have any comments on that?
Well, I can't quote those ordinances. I don't know what they're speaking of. The state definitely has got their own ordinances, and we
Right.
have to comply with them. So when we submit to them, if they deny us, then we're denied anyways, whether you guys approve it or not. But I know that the state does allow LDD signs, and they allow, They do allow LEDs. They're on all their interstates out in California. If you drive up towards San Bernardino, you'll see them along the interstates. And as far as just standard billboard structures, some have been built just on the 111 coming in the last, 5 or 6 years by another company out there by Heber Road. And I didn't see them not getting their permit, so I'm assuming that there is no restrictions as far as that goes at that point.
Yeah, I mean, even if we approve it here, he still has to get the approval from the
Right. And it's a 10 feet tall, right?
13 feet from the bottom. Oh, the face of the sign, 10'6",
Oh,
10 and a half
10.
feet, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's all. That's all the questions I have.
All right, any other questions, commissioners? Just have a question, Mark. If we were to approve it the way it is right now with the lead, and then when they apply with Caltrans, they come up with conditions, maybe they want to change with no lead, or maybe there's something other than what it shows right here, that Caltrans wants to make some changes. Is that going to come back to us for approval, or we can approve it in conditions that Caltrans requirement would be met.
Yes, we could bring it back, I mean, we could bring it back to explain what those conditions are.
Okay.
You got something, Mr. Morales? You want to add?
Well, there could be two options. One of them would be to bring it back, they have any conditions. The other one would be that it could be approved under the conditions, any conditions that Caltrans may put upon them. And unless it would be something that was drastically different or something that would create an issue with the city, then at that point, then we would bring it back. But if it's something that they're saying, well, hey, you have to move it back 10 feet, or you gotta, the location of it has to be changed a little bit, and something that they can work with, then the planning commission could go ahead and approve it under those conditions that
Yeah.
we follow that they follow the
But-
requirements from the.
I think when they're talking about safety, it's, like when you drive in and you see the light and the glare, kind of you drive and you distract you
Right.
from paying attention to the road. So maybe that's something that they come up with and say, we don't want the light, the LED.
Yeah, and I'm sure
Something.
that would be a standard requirement. The applicant would know better than myself, but as to how bright that sign needs to be or how frequently that sign needs to be changed. But other than that, I don't foresee that there'd be a major.
These are, I can say these are standard questions for LED signs, distractions, things like that. There's been all the studies done, of course, by the state and by other entities saying that they have not seen a detrimental cause of accidents or anything like that from the LED signs. And that's why the state still allows them, because there hasn't been any studies done that showed that there was any detrimental effect to the light from the signs and things like that. They are monitored by the state, and they come and they actually test the amount of light on the LEDs, and they'll call us and say they're off by a little bit, and we call our corporate, and they'll change them there from our corporate office. Everything is run out of a corporate office in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So they actually run.
Signs on the freeway
Um,
right now?
Do we here? Not in this market.
Freeway.
No, like I said, in San Bernardino on the 10, on the main 10 there, there's plenty of them. On the 91 heading into the back way, and I guess that would be into Corona or something like that. They have some on the interstates out there. They're all over. I can provide you with showing what Lamar, these are Lamar signs too, structures out there.
San Diego doesn't have any.
San Diego doesn't allow them as a county. They are starting to get some on the 78 out there in between Vista and Oceanside.
Okay.
And those are going to be done through the local municipalities. But as long as the local municipality agrees, then all it takes is for the state to agree at that point up there. But yeah, the county of San Diego didn't allow billboards of those.
Now, what
They don't allow any billboards.
What the county of Imperial has to say about this? They haven't even given any comment or,
Well, they allow them because the one by the mall, across from the mall there, that is a county pocket. And they were permitted through the county to put that up.
So this would be the first one off a highway here in Imperial Valley?
Well, 86 is a highway through El Centro, so that's a highway. That would be the first one that was built.
Which one?
The one on Imperial Avenue, Highway 86.
Oh, that's LED?
Yeah, that's LED, yes.
That's on both sides, right?
Yeah, it's on both sides, correct.
That's an old, it's not considered a highway per se, really.
No,
It's
it is.
abandoned.
86.
no, this sign is not really on the highway, it's off the highway, it's on Rockwood, right?
No, it's on, the one on Dogwood is not a highway, yes, but that's not our structure. The one on Imperial Avenue is a highway, and we did have to get a state permit on that one also, when we applied.
Thank you.
No problem.
Questions?
No, but
Well, should we close the?
Barring, yeah, go ahead.
We're going to go ahead and close the public hearing. It is 7:34. Okay. Go ahead, comments,
All right,
commissioners.
being that there is the attorney is not, the attorney is absent, I would say, on the condition that the attorney does review the discussion that was held here prior to moving forward, that he gives the thumbs up or down on what was discussed, how it was handled, addressed by the commissioners and the public. I would then go ahead and make a motion to approve the project with adoption of the required findings and conditions, and also with the corrections to the references. Couldn't even read my writing here. Anyway, I'll motion for its approval on those, on that. Make sure that the attorney gives a thumbs up on how this was
I
handled.
second the motion.
So there's a motion by Mr. Romero and a second by Mr. Uzan. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
On the liability also, I'd like the attorney to look at the liability on the safety issues.
Okay, so
Okay.
prior to approval, city attorney
Yes.
to review all the exhibits.
And letter from
And,
Caltrans,
yeah, the liability issue, and that's why I want the attorney to give the thumbs up,
yeah.
because us as commissioners, we'll make sure that we're,
And then, one more thing, can we get a copy of that letter from the attorney saying that it's okay and everything else back to the
Oh.
planning commissioners? Because I think there's been issues in the past where, the planning commissioners have not received paperwork from staff, and there's been questions of whether this was approved or not, when Mr. Servine was supposed to bring something back to you guys and he never did. So can we get
In writing.
copies of that in writing?
yeah, some documented.
What we can do, once we get the comments from the attorney, we could go ahead and email it out to everybody. And before the conditions are signed and approved, then we'll wait and make sure that everybody's in agreement, and then we can follow through. So if there's any questions or you need to have it come back, then at that point, then you can inform staff, and then we'll go ahead and do that.
Okay. So to all those in favor, Mr. Romero, Uzan, myself,
Aye.
Yes.
aye.
Aye.
Ms. Felix, what's your position?
I have a question for staff. On your resolution, paragraph 5, it says, where the Imperial County Air Pollution Control District and Caltrans provided comments which were addressed by city staff and no adverse comments were received, but we did receive some with conditions. So can we amend that and include their conditions? That's the first page of Resolution 2016.
Fine.
That's the 5th paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Attachment 1.
Yeah, okay, it says no adverse, and there is adverse comment. That's what it's saying.
Can we change that with
Well, the
comments to
resolution
read
for
with
the-
the comments received?
I guess what we have here are two motions. One, to adopt the planning commission resolution. Attachment 1, recommending to the city council approval of negative deck. And the second will be a second motion to adopt planning commission resolution. Attachment 2, recommend the city council adoption of conditional use permit.
Correct.
That's why we needed the attorney here. I just caught my attention right now.
On the resolution?
Okay, so I guess if anything, we have to reverse what we just motioned and then start with this again.
All right? Let's go
Motion
with
to
that.
adopt planning commission resolution number 2016, I guess 01,
Put 01.
recommending to the city council approval of negative deck number, number 2016-01. Again, with all the corrections and to references and obviously get back to us regarding comments that the city attorney may have regarding the liability, and that we proceeded this as, with correctly. Anyway, that's my motion.
Second that motion.
Second that, all is in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passed.
And then we have a motion to adopt Planning Commission Resolution Number 2016, Attachment Number 2, recommending to the City Council adoption of conditional use permit number 2016-01, again, also with the references to be corrected, and also comments from the city attorney. And also, it would be good to receive some, whatever the comments is from Caltrans and on their project. Again, to check liability and whatsoever.
There's a motion?
Second that motion.
Second, all is in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, motion passed. And we're good with that one.
Best case scenario, when will your sign be up?
We're gonna shoot for the, in the first quarter, so probably in March.
Okay,
Thank you.
good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Information, 714 Crescent Drive. Did somebody ask for that? That item
Crescent
sounds
Drive?
familiar. Information item,
Preston Drive? Was it not?
yes, 714 Crescent Drive. Mr. Vasquez, Mr. Vasquez, does somebody ask about 714 Crescent Drive? It's under information items. What was that
Okay, but there's
about?
no information item. There's nothing here.
There's no
Who asked
backup.
about it? Okay, so, but we asked about this, or that just,
Staff.
okay.
They will.
Mr. Young?
Did you bring it up, Mr. Chairman?
What's over there anyway?
That's
Yeah.
Rami's house.
What's there?
No, I was asked to,
Rami?
I guess they wanted information on that,
What's there?
on permit.
What is there?
Oh, there's an existing structure there,
Which
the
one?
house.
Who's Rami?
Preston.
Oh,
Oh, that's the
yes.
Rashid?
That's the
That's-
one that, it was a duplex, and then you guys said it wasn't? Say,
Yeah.
what happened there? Let us know.
Well, let me just give you a little history. Back in 2010, the owner came in and he pulled a permit, which was actually a demolition permit for the interior of the structure. I guess at that time, he was going to change some drywall on that house, existing house. And as time went on, I guess through the inspections that were made, I guess, I'm not sure of all the exact history, but then he came back, and I guess there was some walls that needed to be replaced and some structures that needed to be replaced in there. So he came in, he pulled another permit, and that was back in April of 2010, and pulled a permit for that. Then in July 2nd, he came in, he pulled a permit for a carport, air conditioner, and to stucco the outside, and electrical, and the remodel of the structure. So basically, it started as a minor renovation when he came in, and he was going to do some work on it. And then from then, as the inspections were being done, then he saw that he needed to do more and more work on it. So he was he kept pulling a permit for different types of work that was going to be done there. So then the work was done. I mean, he brought in a little sketch, which was more, it wasn't an actual plan, but it was a sketch of the house as to what he was going to do. That sketch shows that he had put in there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably about 5 or 6 bedrooms in the house, which, you know, there's nothing in the building code as to how many bedrooms you can have in a house. The only thing that in the R1 zone, you can only have 1 kitchen in a structure, and to keep it as a single structure, and that's what was approved at that time. It was never discussed whether he wanted to convert it into a rental or do anything. I do recall in one of the conversations, he did inform me that apparently prior to him buying that house, I guess, he says that it was, there was a rental there. And whether there was or there wasn't, since I'm not from Calexico, I couldn't prove him right or wrong on it. One thing I did do is our current city manager, I did speak to him about that project, and at that time, he did inform me, I guess he lived in that area, and he informed me that apparently what he remembers, that there was more of a granny flat more than anything else, but it was always a single structure, it was never rent or anything. So up to this time, the zoning in that area is an R1 zone. What was approved was approved for a remodel. Never was given permission to change from an R1 to rentals or an apartment complex in that place. So at this point, that's where we're at on that.
All right, so that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, any other comments? Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Second? Second. All those in favor?
One thing if I may, yeah, we do have something, just to give you an update, we will be coming back to you. We have quite a few projects that we're looking at. One of them may be even a mixed use, and something for you to kind of think about. We may have a couple of CUPs that are also be coming in, but we have some projects on the board that we're looking at, and as soon as they become more realistic, we'll be bringing that to you for your review. And like I said, one of them is we're looking at possibly doing mixed use, in the downtown area. Hopefully, that's something that the commission will look favorably upon.
Good, that falls into what Mr. Romero mentioned, that we like to be updated on anything
Yes.
that goes on, so we are
Yeah.
well informed and we can,
Yeah, once,
Explain well.
and once they
Thank you.
become more realistic, then that's when we want to do it, because we do have developers that come in, they ask questions, they want to know about different, what the requirements are, what they can do and everything. But because they're just on the blackboard and the discussion or conversation part, then it's kind of hard to come in and tell you, hey, this is what we're doing. But like I said, as they become more concrete, then we'll be bringing this to you.
we understand that. And just like, like the Panda, that was going on, we never knew about it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's, like I said,
At least when they break
there's,
ground, we like to be in the groundbreaking meeting.
yeah, and, well, I wasn't invited to the,
Well, we have to, that's a requirement that we gotta get invited.
yeah, well, no, and that's true. We will make sure that you are informed of that.
Yeah.
Mark was invited, he's the only one that was invited.
Meeting adjourned.